Okay, so today we're looking at the order of operations and evaluating expressions. So just some definitions for us. Order of operations, it's telling us the process we're going to use to solve expressions. Sometimes we use the term evaluate instead of solve. It means the exact same thing. We're getting an answer. Expression is a set of numbers and operations with no equal sign. It can have variables, so we could have 4 squared minus 3 times 1 plus 4. We could have 7x, okay? Those are expressions. To solve and use order of operations, we usually use PEMDAS. It's a great way to remember everything, so please excuse my dear Aunt Sally. And the P is telling us to do parentheses. And then exponents. Then we're going to look for multiplication, and then division, and then addition, and then subtraction. Okay, that's the order we solve things in. An important piece is that you go from left to right. Okay, so when we read it left to right, if we see multiply or divide, we're going to do those first. Then as we read left to right, we're going to do add and subtract. Okay? Something else that's really key, guys, parentheses. Okay? They are super important to use first. If you see them, you need to follow those. Okay? So let's do some practice. We're going to look, we have 6 squared minus 12 as our first one. So we look, there are no parentheses, so we're then going to go to exponents. We do have an exponent, so we're going to solve that. 6 squared is 36 minus 12. We don't have any multiplication, division, and then addition or subtraction. We do have subtraction, so 36 minus 12 is going to give us 24. So that's the first one. The second one, we have our 10 plus 2 in parentheses times 3 minus 1. First thing, we have parentheses, so we're going to simplify this part. 10 plus 2 is 12 times 3 minus 1. And then we look, we don't have any exponents. We do have multiplication, so 12 times 3, we get 36 minus 1, which gives us 35 as our final answer. Number 3, we have 33 divided by 11 times 12 minus 3 squared. Ooh, it's a lot. So our first thing we have is no parentheses, so we're going to go to exponents. This 3 squared, so 33 divided by 11 times 12 minus 9. Okay. Then we're going to look, do we have multiplication or division? Okay, so we're going to look at those. We have this 33 divided by 11. So we're going to start with that. So that gives us 3 times 12 minus 9. Okay, so wait, how many of us are saying, but the multiplication? This is that left to right, okay? Because the division and multiplication, the division comes first when we read it, we're going to do that one first, okay? Now we're going to look and see multiplication and division. We have this 3 times 12, so we have 36 minus 9. And that's going to give us 27 as our final answer. Okay, that one was a little tricky, but again, we're just using PEMDAS and we have to know multiply and divide, and we're gonna add and subtract left to right. So those orders might switch, okay, they might change orders, and that's okay. Number 4, we have 2 times 5 squared plus 4 over 3 squared minus 5. First thing is parentheses, so 2 times 5 is 10 squared plus 4 over 3 squared minus 5. Okay, and then we're going to do our exponents, so 10 squared, we have 100 plus 4 over 9 minus 5. That's going to give us then 104 over 9 minus 5, which is 4, and then that simplifies to 26. The next thing we have for these, so 5 and 6, it's saying evaluate. We know A equals 12, B equals 6, and C equals 3. Okay, so since we know those values to be true, we can substitute them in where they belong. So in number 5, we have b squared plus a minus c squared. So we're going to plug in 6 squared, okay, because that's what b equals, plus a is 12, and then minus c squared, so minus 3 squared. Now that we have the values plugged in, we can use our order of operations and solve. So parentheses 6 and then parentheses 3. We can't simplify those anymore, so we can go on to exponents. 6 squared is going to be 36, and then plus 12, and then we have minus 3 squared is 9. Okay. And then we get, we're going to add and subtract from left to right, so we get 48 when we do 36 plus 12 minus 9. When we simplify 48 minus 9, we get 39. And then this next one, we're going to do the exact same thing. We're going to plug in A, B, and C where they belong. So B is 6, C is 3, and then 2 times our A value of 12 over our B value of 6. Okay, so guys, I like to put parentheses around the numbers when I plug in for the letters. I just think it makes it easier to know that I'm not saying 212, I'm saying 2 times 12. Then we're going to go ahead and start simplifying. Again, the parentheses, we can't do anything. There's nothing to simplify. They're already numbers. So then we're going to go to our exponents. So we will have 6 times 9, because 3 squared, minus 2 times 12 over 6. 6 times 9, we're going to get 54. And then we're going to have 2 times 12, which is 24 over 6. And then we have 24 over 6 equals 4. 54 minus 4 gives us 50. Okay, so we can do most of these. We can do all of these by hand. However, sometimes we might have really, really big numbers. So we can use a scientific calculator. I wouldn't use your phone. I would go to desmos.com/scientific. Okay. This is going to be a great online calculator for you guys because it's very similar to the one that we usually use in class. I really like it. It's great. It simplifies the fractions for you guys. It's I feel like it's really easy for you guys to follow that one. So try these out with the website. Something else I think would be interesting for you guys to try or look and see what happens. Okay. Tell me, or look and see what happens when you do -2 squared in the calculator versus -2 squared. Okay, that's something pretty interesting, and that's gonna go back to why parentheses are important. Okay, so y'all are gonna go ahead and continue practicing these order of operations, getting comfortable with that Desmos calculator, and then I will see you guys tomorrow.